What's up YouTube? It's Dale back again from Team Psychalia. Today I'm going to be bringing you my Bermuda Triangle deck list, which is pretty much based around the Prism subclan. And I'm going to go through why I play each number of units and why I choose to use which ones I do. But first I'm going to go through, I'm going to start with the starter really. As we all know, Cora here is the actual Prism starter. Her ability is whenever another Bermuda Triangle unit you have is returned from your rear guard circles, she can bounce herself back. Which is a pretty good effect because then it means you have a nice 10k shield in hand, and it means you can call something out with Labrador's Limit Break effect. However, something that's been popping up recently is that a lot of people are starting to use Shizuku, mainly because of the fact that she is the Bermuda Grade 3 Searcher, which means that you can get the Break Ride combo off pretty easily, and it means that you're most likely less likely not going to be Break Riding on a Break Ride unit. It means you'll actually be able to either search the Break Ride or the Labrador to make sure that it goes off properly. Both have their advantages, one being that one's 10k shield, and it means that it basically will reset what's ever behind your new Vanguard unit. Because when you Break Ride on top of Vert, she will return 2 Bermuda Triangle units you control back to your hand, and Koro will obviously return herself back. However, Shizuku has the ability to get herself out of the rear guard zone anyway, into the Soul, which means Clear and Celtic are more live. There is more things in Soul for them to Soul Blast for their attack gain. And of course, you get potentially get a grade 3 out of it. There is always the chance that you're not going to see one. I get that a lot with Musketeers, so a lot of games I don't even see Cecilia. But yeah, I'm going to be testing out Shizuku at some point. But until then, I'm still using Koro. Right, onto the trigger lineup. I play 4 Prism Crit and 2 Gunslinger Star. Of course, playing 6 crits again in the deck. The draw triggers, it's 4 of the Prism and 2 Cooking Caspi, mainly because of the fact that I don't have, I think her name's Ale, the one that puts herself into Soul to give a unit another 3-4k or something. Just don't have one, or 2, should I say. Primarily, the triggers should be Prism heavy because of the fact that Labrador needs to counterblast Prisms for her ability. And then, last but not least, 4 Prism heal trigger. Pretty standard. I think I'm going to go through now why you're going to see a lot of 6/6/4 in every deck that I run, apart from Revengers when I finally get them. It's kind of an odd one. I like being able to have all the offensive out of the crits, but a lot of the time I like being able to get the hand advantage that draw triggers allow you, and in something like Prisms, hand advantage, especially very early in the game, is incredibly good. I mean, when I first got this deck, my friend borrowed my dope, in which he was sat there with pretty much nothing in hand most of the game, and I was just sat there with about 10-11 cards. So I had full control of the game, all because I hit 2 crits early on. 2 crits? 2 draws, sorry. Onto my grade 1 lineup now. 3 Sedna. I only play 3 because she's not a Prism, so she's not as useful as she could be. She's a nice 8k boost. And of course, with all the trigger checks and draw triggers, you're going to find her at some point. I play 4 Ali. I've just gotten into playing 4 Perfect Guards and everything, pretty much. It's stable. I'm not too particularly keen on Perfect Guards myself. I don't quite know when is a good time to use them, when I shouldn't use them, what I should use them on, etc. I kind of prefer using triggers to guard, but of course Perfects are there for those things that you really cannot guard against easily. Prism Grade 1s, I run 3 clear. Her skill is when she's returned back to the hand from the rear guard, you can Soul Blast 1 to choose a Bermuda Triangle unit and give it 4k until the end of the turn. Of course, this combos nicely in with Labrador and the Brake Ride, because you can apply the power anywhere, so you can give it to the rear guards, so that they're going to waste most of their guarding on Labrador if she limit breaks. And then, of course, the units that are boosted by Clear are probably going to have less to go through in terms of like guarding because of her boost. And then finally, for Mercure, 10k attacker when there's a prism on the Vanguard unit, and she's on rear guard. 10k from a grade 1, what more can you really ask for? On to the grade 2 lineup. I play Foligurian, 10k vanilla, good attacking unit, good for intercepting, good to ride, I get pretty well, pretty much. Volumia, 12k rear guard when there is a Vanguard with Prism in its name. So, pretty helpful. For Rosa, she's an 11k attacker when you have a Vanguard or rear guard with a Limit Break 4 ability, which basically, when you're sat on grade 3, she's going to be 11k during your turn when you attack. Problem is, she is an 8k, so she's slightly easier to run over. Yeah. And then, to Celtic. She's essentially the grade 2 version of Clear, Soul Blast 1 when it returns from rear guard to hand, and one unit obviously gets 4k. On to my grade 3 lineup. I play 3 Labrador. I probably should be playing 4-4 in terms of my lineup, but I play 3-4 instead for Brake Rides. I mean, Labrador is a key part of what the deck does. The fact that she can counterblast one card with Prism in its name, choose one rear guard with Prism in its name, and return it to your hand. So this allows Clear and Celtic to be able to use their abilities. It also can help sort out bad columns that have been made during the progress of the game. And of course this also fuels her own skill, well, her own limit break, which is when it attacks a Vanguard, you can choose up to 3 cards with Prism in its name, and return them to, call them into separate rear guards. And of course if you call 3 from this effect, she gains 10k and a crit till the end of that battle, which is a pretty deadly effect, to be honest. The fact that then that puts her up to 21k to crit without any boosts, with the Sedna being set behind, that's 29k. So pretty good numbers. Of course, perfect guards are always a thing. And then I play full Vert. Now, Vert was pretty much the first Brake Ride released over here in the TCG, which is kind of nice. I think Bermuda's kind of needed that support with the Brake Ride because the deck wasn't doing a lot in the game. Of course, it kind of gave them a huge popularity spike. But her limit break ability is obviously that she's a Brake Ride, so when a Bermuda Triangle rides her, you get to draw a card, and choose up to 2 of your Bermuda Triangle rear guards, return them to your hand, and then give the Vanguard 10k till the end of the turn. Of course, she lives up to the whole returning things back to hand that Bermuda Triangle like to do, and she also replaces herself by allowing that draw. So she's an indirect plus, essentially. But yeah, and of course, when you have 4 or more Bermuda Triangle rear guards, she gains 2k. So even with Koro set behind her, she's still a nice 18k with a twin drive. And she's 11k base as well. Of course, if you have a Sedna sat behind her, then it's obviously going to be 21k that she'll be attacking for if you have the 4 rear guards. Also, I believe Pacifica and Lena both have the same ability of needing 4 or more rear guards on field to be able to get their attack boosts, which seems to be something I've noticed with quite a few Bermudas. They seem to like bouncing stuff, but need units on field to actually gain power. It's a bit strange, but yeah. I have kind of been thinking of running Girls Rock Rio, but unfortunately, where there isn't enough to counterblast non-prism units, she's not exactly very good. But she allows for a soul charge and a draw, which means more clear and Celtic shenanigans can happen. And of course, it's a draw. And she's a 5k intercept and guard from hand. But yeah, thank you for watching. My next deck list that I will be bringing you should be my Neonectar Musketeers, which is a deck that I really enjoy playing. Just like the style, the fact that it can recycle everything. That, and with the addition of 2 new cards coming in during set 14, I will be looking forward to playing the deck a lot more, because it gets a damage on flipper and its own perfect guard, which is recyclable through their main vanguard. And we get a break ride, so we can get more Corolla Dragons everywhere. Thank you guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon.